Hi, I'm Rachel Morgan, a retail sales coach that works with you and your sales team to help you improve your sales performance and also your customer retention so that you don't hear things like, I'm just looking, and can also see those repeat customers come back over and over again. Today, I've invited Kathy Rodriguez here to chat about the power of pivoting. Kathy is an empowerment coach, and she has gone through so much learning how to pivot through life's changes and how to thrive through them, which I think is a fabulous conversation. So what really makes Kathy qualified for this? As a self-described, I can't use my words today, quite shy young woman working her way up the corporate ladder, which is something I know we can obviously very much so relate to. She was also a woman scared of losing her identity when raising children and later seeing them off to college, and she found herself wondering. She learned how to embrace and not only survive, but to thrive. And as the world began to open up with COVID at the age of 56, she decided to get her yoga instructor and life coaching certifications. She also decided, why not lead multiple women-only day retreats to help women learn how to shift their own mindset, empower themselves, and find the warrior goddess within. So I've invited her on today to chat about how we can learn how to thrive through all life's changes and pivots. And then it looks like Kathy is here. Kathy, if you can go ahead and request to join. Perfect. Can feel her positive energy. I mean, she really can turn a bad day into a good day. And so I know that she's the perfect one to talk about how to pivot and thrive.
Oh, there we go.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
I'm
Oh my
so glad.
gosh. My head looks so big.
I know. It zooms in right when you jump on live. It's like you're so far out and then you're so far in.
Oh
It
my.
doesn't. Yes. So, well, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad we are finally able to make this happen.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So excited.
Yes. For anyone who's here or is listening, right? We have attempted this. This is the third time now. There's been life has happened and we've had to pivot. And so a third time's a charm,
Oh,
right? So I'm glad that everything works, no glitches, nobody's sick. Yes. Yes. So,
that's what life is about, right? It's all
yeah,
about pivoting and recognizing when we need to pivot, but also learning how to pivot and how to, roll with it. So,
right,
yeah.
right. And you're so good at that. You definitely exemplified that. So thank you. Yes. So one thing that you mentioned was that you had a really big life pivot at 59, which is very scary for a lot of people. I think it's scary at any age, truthfully, but so what do you consider that to mean? Like, what is a pivot?
Well, a pivot is those times in your life, well, we call them pivotal moments. Everybody understands and recognizes pivotal moments, but they don't recognize when they pivot. So for me, it's like when you get married, you move, and I've moved across 5 states and 10 times. When you get married, when I left my corporate job, when I became a mom, right? When my kids left my empty nest or left me with an empty nest. And literally, I have twins and I had a very busy house, and they both went away to college. So I came home to an empty nest. And yeah, so those are those pivotal moments. And there's multiple pivotal moments
Mhm.
in your life. And it's recognizing what you gain from those pivotal moments in your life. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's for me, one of the major ones was at 37, I lost my dad, right? He was
Yeah.
it's going to get emotional. He was my biggest cheerleader and the person who saw me in my life. And so to have that happen at 37, it changed my perspective.
Right.
And that's really what, learning how to pivot instead of just survive, but to thrive is to recognizing those pivotal moments and how strong we can become because of those pivotal moments. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think those are both really good examples too, because sometimes we don't know that we're in a pivotal moment, right?
Mhm.
Um, I've also lost a parent as well and a grandparent, and those definitely were pivotal moments in my life. And it's not always just a career change. It's not always just death either,
Mhm.
right? There's many other moments. So what are some other examples? How can we identify that we're in a moment of pivot?
So, those, we had it a lot during COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had to change how we did things. That's a pivotal moment. And how did that affect us, right? Having those discussions with others and with ourselves, how did that change happen? Another example would be, divorce, pivotal,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not always just the big, amazing, wonderful moments that are pivotal moments, right? You got that raise, you did a retreat, and everybody showed up and it was full and sold out, and those are wonderful pivotal moments. But then there's the hard ones, right? Those sucky moments, and life can suck. And learning how to navigate those pivotal moments, learning how to navigate life and recognize the strength that we gain and the lessons we learned. When I lost my dad, he was 64. He had a bucket list. I mean, we were going through the house when we
Mm-hmm.
found his bucket list. And I looked at that and I thought, okay, I'm 37. What's on my bucket list? Do I even have a bucket list? I had 6.5-year-old twins. I wasn't even thinking bucket list, but it made me reflect on, okay, even then, what do I want out of my life? And what do I want
Yeah.
for my kids? And what do I want for my marriage? And
Yeah.
sitting down and having that conversation. So, yeah.
My father was 60, so very similar in age, and did not have a bucket list, but it definitely forced me to reconsider my health a little bit and what had around me and what I was putting like in me in terms of food and on my body in terms of products. And it was definitely a very pivotal time in my life where I agree, like you looking back, you're like, wow, that really influenced me more than I expected.
Yes.
And it's not always just death, right? It can
Yeah.
be any decision. And I actually really love that you said it can be positive. Like
Mhm.
pivotal moments don't always have to be change and negative. It can be a positive change, like getting a raise. And I don't even think we sometimes realize how much a raise can actually be pivotal,
Right.
right? Like it could actually very much so change our
Well,
life depending
it's not
on what
only
it is.
the financial end of it, right? Because that's wonderful, but it's that validation. And, oftentimes we can have that whole discussion. That's a whole discussion about that outside validation, right? But it is sometimes we need that in our lives, right? We need someone to say, yes, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize how amazing you are at what you do. I want to, I want to give you some extra,
Yeah.
right? I want to
Yeah.
acknowledge that. And, and it's like I said, it's not just financial and it's not just positive moments and negative moments. It
Mm-hmm.
is those times in life where we learn something about ourselves, about the
Mm-hmm.
greater world. For me, losing my dad, I learned how to not sweat the small things,
Yeah.
right? Because that was big. Going from having this incredible person in my life that always stood up for me
Right.
and losing him made me say, you know what? All those other little things are so little. But then I also learned how to appreciate the little things too.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right, which is something that's easy to overlook when you're in business and you're working in your store or online or you're at a networking event. It's very easy to get caught up in all the little nuances and not appreciate the little things. So, what would you consider, since I know we are around a lot of business
Mhm.
people, to be kind of a pivotal moment maybe in business?
Well, so the pivotal business moments in business are when you sit down and you recognize, okay, first off, like you and myself, we're entrepreneurs, right? You
Yeah,
sit down and recognize that, okay, I could work for someone for the rest of my life, but maybe I want to work for myself.
right,
I can do this better than all the other people above me, right? So maybe it's that stretch outside your comfort zone, right?
yeah,
And go, okay, I'm going to try this.
yeah,
That's a pivotal moment for yourself professionally and personally, recognizing that. But in your business, recognizing where your customers are coming from. When you sit down and think less of who you are and what you want to achieve and who your customers are and what they want out. Why are they coming in your store? Why are they coming into your business? Why are they connecting with you? What's their why? When you pivot to thinking less about your why and more about their why, it changes how you approach things, right? And your
Right.
messaging. And so, what would be a pivotal moment for you?
I would say, I think it's mindset when it comes to sales, right? Like what you're trying to say, right? When you consider why someone's in your store a little bit more, I think it can really change how you're selling, why you're selling, and even how much you sell, right? Which can be pivotal because it can completely change the performance and your profit margin and all that for the rest of the year, right? It could be
Yes.
winning an award. It could be that one person you brought on your team. And it's like a change.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a change that you make, and every change has some kind of repercussion, whether it's positive or negative, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh, totally.
Um, yeah, so I think that's a good way to define it. So, what do you want someone that's listening to know about pivoting or transforming moments?
Well, that it can be scary, right? Once we recognize that it can be scary, it can be, a pivot could be something that's thrust upon you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the divorce that you didn't see coming. That's
Mm-hmm.
the layoff at the business, that you've been working for 15 years, right? Those are ones that are thrust upon you. But that pivot or that need to pivot or that recognition that it's time to pivot can creep up on you. You can sit there and look back and go, I think there's something more. I think there's something more in my business, in my personal relationships, right? In my life. What, for me, it was, I have my own life coach, and she was a friend before she was a life coach. And she asked me to join a mastermind group. And I'm like, okay, well, why do I need to do that? I was 56 years old. First I diminished my own worth and I said, what can I hand these 20 and 30 somethings? I diminished my own life experience,
Mm,
right? And so sitting back now and looking at that, that was a pivotal moment for me because it was stepping outside my comfort zone and recognizing my own worth and what I could contribute to this group. And, for me, that pivotal moment, my life didn't suck. I enjoyed my job. My kids were off at college. And like I said, life didn't suck. So, but now I recognize what was missing.
right.
And, and it can be scary. And especially, you're not alone. Those empty nest moms, they think, when your kids go off to college, you think you're the only one feeling all of that.
Right.
Right. And so, how many times in your life do you feel that way? Do you feel it's only me that's going through this? But you're not. There's a community of women out there that have
Right.
gone through the same thing. So, reaching out to those women, either here through social media because you follow them or you
Right.
connect with them. For me, it was joining a networking group
Mm-hmm.
and meeting someone like you. I mean, chance happenings and conversations that happened afterwards, and having real and honest conversations with others and with yourself.
Yeah.
And that is, it doesn't have to be life altering to have a pivot.
Right.
Life doesn't have to be this huge change. Maybe it's just something little you're seeking and you just didn't know it yet.
Right. I would agree that a moment of pivotal thinking
Mhm.
is that realizing that you're not the only one that goes through something. So while an experience may not look the same, it doesn't mean that other people don't experience that emotion or, um, yeah, emotion, I would say.
Mhm.
And realizing that there are others out there. And like, even for you, I'm sure your kids like had some of that feeling as well. It was a little bit different, right?
Yes.
But they still also were dealing with the change too. And I agree. I think especially being like a solopreneur, like realizing you're not alone, that there's a lot of other people that feel the same way. And I really felt that and experienced that through networking and meeting other business owners and hearing that they also go through the same thing. So it's very like humbling,
Mhm.
like, yes. And just nice and reassuring to know, like, okay, you're not alone. Like, you're going to have good and bad days, that there are other people out there that got you, support you, want to see you thrive. And that was really huge. And then you want to reciprocate.
Exactly. Well, and I love the way you put that, right? It's a pivotal change in your own mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it is, there are ways to learn how to not just survive life, right? But to thrive. The energy that I feel when I meet other women, right? And I talk to them and I share with them. I literally ran into, I think I shared the story with you, uh, during COVID, mask on, no makeup, leggings at Marshall's. And this woman came up to me and said, are you, not, I wasn't coaching with Kathy then, but she said, are you Peppy Fit Foodie? And I'm like, well, yes. And I'm like wondering, with this mask on, how does this person know? And I said, I never do this. I never stop and talk to somebody. And I'm like, well, congratulations, great job to step outside your comfort zone and say, hey, I want to talk to this
Mm-hmm.
person because I've been following you. And I'm like, that's wonderful. And she goes, my daughter is leaving for college in the fall. What am I going to do? Because, I'm looking at you and you're like happy and you're doing things and, you're living
Mm-hmm.
life. What am I going to do when she goes away? I said, whatever the heck you want, right? Why not? That became my phrase for those few years, is why not? And that's what should be the phrase forever.
Mm,
Why not? Why not? It is never too late. You are never too old. You are always worthy to do that thing and say, why not? Whatever that is. Why not go on that amazing cruise I've been wanting to go on forever? So I'm going to do what I need to do to save up. And
yeah,
why not?
I
Why
agree.
not? I mean, like you said in my intro, at 56 years old, I was the oldest person in my yoga training, teacher training. But I said, well, why not? I've been practicing yoga for 56 years. Why not do it?
Yeah.
Why
I feel
not?
like,
Why not? Why not?
yeah, this is a great transition to my next question for you is, what is one thing that you feel we can all do to help us thrive? So I feel like that is that is the answer. So unless there's something else you would like to add to that to help you really thrive in a pivotal moment, because I think it's just change is really hard, right? We get
Yes,
used to doing things the way that we've been doing them, and when something is thrown at us, even if it's good, it changes it. Whether it's our day to day, whether it's how we think, it's whether it's the commute that we take, whether it's the time we get up, right? It can actually change us, like one decision, right?
yes.
And it can just throw us off. And so, um, anyways, yes, I'll let you answer that.
Well, and actually, Kenzie, Final Touch Photography, said
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's great to learn how to feel safe even when you feel unsafe. And I love that
Mm-hmm.
because that's that comfort zone thing, right? That comfort zone is our nervous system wanting to keep us safe, right? It's that fight or flight. It's that, oh my gosh, this is happening. This doesn't feel comfortable because it's outside. It's okay. I like my safe zone, right? And so all of those fears that we have from our upbringing, from things that happen to us, those fears are out there. And that comfort zone, we don't have to deal with those fears because we'll just stay in my little safe zone. But sometimes stepping outside those comfort zone, even little small steps, right? For me, I grew up well, I'm still partially deaf. And so I was very shy. And, I thought the little kids were talking about me. And so coming out behind the camera, right? I love taking photos and videos of other people, but coming on a live here was stepping outside my comfort zone,
Mm,
right? I did them last year, and so I've done that more and more, and
yeah.
I'm more and more comfortable. But for me, that first one, it was scary, right? and I wear this cute little halter, and it's great because it hides my little blotchiness that I used to get when I was nervous. But I still did it, right? And last year I did something that was incredible. I joined a challenge. I knew the woman, my life coaching certification program. She is one of the founders, and she did this challenge at the beginning of the year. It was called 10 Days to Suck at Something New. And doing that challenge reminded me that I can do scary things. I can try something new, and even if I suck at it, it's okay. And those would be what I consider a pivotal moment for me, right? Because that's when, during that challenge, I said, okay, well, I'm going to do Instagram Lives. Okay, I'm going to go in front of the camera. I'm going to interview people in my sphere. And that's scary. It's scary to step outside that comfort zone, but that's what I love about what I do as a life coach, right? As an empowerment coach, I am here to be that biggest cheerleader for somebody else, to encourage them to do those stepping outside their comfort zones, and to recognize when it's time to pivot and how to achieve that pivot, how to, work through what that change needs to be for them.
Right, right. So, how can we support our friends, our family through a moment of pivoting, right? We've all had a friend that's lost someone, that's taken on a new job, that's maybe moved, or a relationship didn't work out, or starting a new position, or decided to be an entrepreneur, right? So,
Yes.
how can we best support our friends and our family?
Well, for me, my biggest thing in all of this is finding that one person that you can talk to, right? Be it an empowerment coach, some really good friend, and having those conversations that says, I just need to bounce these ideas off somebody. I just need to talk to somebody. I think the greatest gift that people like us can give to others is listening. Sometimes people just need somebody to listen. They don't need a solution, or they don't need a solution in that moment. And I love Kenzie, right? Saying in their house, we can do scary things, or we'll just do it scared, right? And so being there for that person, recognizing, reaching out to others. So for myself, as an empowerment coach, that's what I do professionally. But, a safe place. I love, my biggest favorite thing about sitting and talking to somebody is I have their greatest life is my goal, for them to live the most fulfilled, joyous, happy, freedom, all of that. And so helping them work through that is what I love to do, helping them figure out what their next step is, because that next step can be scary. So for you and I to have a conversation, right? It's, how do I put this? All right, I'm getting stuck, and that's okay. It is,
I would say oftentimes too, I'll give you a second to think about that.
yes.
I would say that we often think, well, I do listen and I am there for someone and I am a safe place. We often don't, we perceive ourselves differently than we're actually behaving, right? And so, I mean, that's obviously a different conversation right there. But, really, I think what you said is key, is making sure that we're saying, are you looking for a solution? Or are you looking to just vent? And I think that is a huge question just to ask at the beginning when someone comes to you. And it can really save a lot of disagreements and arguments and even energy and time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people will say, I just want to be heard.
Yes.
And you just listen, you let them talk, you let them say what they need to, and you just remind them that you're there for them, you're here for them. And the sales in me would ask an open-ended question, right? Like, what can I do to help? Like, what do you need in this moment? Like, really
Mm-hmm.
trying to offer that support instead of telling them what they need.
Yes.
I know through some of the changes in my life, I've also often been told,
what to do or been looked down upon for a decision. And instead of just someone saying, you know what, I like, congratulations on making that decision, or, how can I help you? What are you needing in this moment? And then actually asking me what I need. And, um, you know, it's just going back to like, thinking that we support people when we actually haven't, right? And so I think that's how we best support people, is really just asking, like, what do you need? What are you looking for out of this? Like, how can I help you best?
Well, and just in asking that question to them, right? So how many times does somebody say something in their post or something on their stories? They make a comment and you never follow up on that,
Mm.
right? How are you being, being a friend and being someone that is concerned for others means when somebody says, I'm going through something right now, do you reach out?
Mm-hmm.
Do you send that text or the voicemail? I'm gonna share with you. I'm old school, right? I'm old and I'm old school, or I should say I'm chronologically enhanced. That's what I love to say. So I'm old school. I will leave a voice message. You can do that in text, right? Instead of a voicemail, it's a voice message. Somebody hearing my voice on a message can hear my sincerity, right? Even a video message, you can record it and then attach that. That, that shows that person that you took that extra step besides just sending the text. You wanted them to hear how much you were there for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? Said, hey, I was thinking about you. I could text that, but if I send that, hey, I'm driving to work. I hope you have a great day. To hear it from my voice to the people that matter most in my life, or even a complete stranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Following someone on Instagram and they share something, just send them a message. And
Mm-hmm.
with COVID, we got away from interacting in person, right? And we're starting to need to relearn how to do that and how to listen and how to be there for somebody. And,
Yeah.
and like you
Yeah, I think sending a text is nice.
said,
It's just, I'm thinking about you, checking in with you, hope today's better, or I'm here, does really go a long way. And I know I've certainly received those texts. Mike, I know you're here. You do that quite often, and I
yes,
appreciate that. And there's many other people that have also done that. And I can, attest that it does make a difference just to like feel thought of, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, we all need a shoulder.
Yeah,
So I am like stumbling over my words today. So,
that's okay.
well, Kathy, thank you for your insight and for sharing all of your powerful stories with us. How can someone find you if they want to know more or work with you?
Well, first off, they can follow me after this, right? This will post. They can follow me. I am coaching with Kathy. I am also, so that's my Instagram. Coaching with Kathy Rodriguez is my Facebook, my website. So it's easy, right? Everything is coaching with Kathy. So coachingwithkathy.life is my website. I have an upcoming Power of the Pivot workshop that I'm doing. And so that's going on next Saturday. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's almost here. And then I'll probably be doing, well, I not probably, I know I'll be doing that same workshop in a Zoom so people can jump onto that wait list. So yeah, they can follow me at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on my website.
Yeah, I love that. So many great ways to interact with you, to learn more about what you do if you're not sure if you're ready to hire you as a coach or work with you, but also to get a taste of what you do and have some wins. I
Yeah,
love it. And, I can attest as well, being in your sphere, you're such a positive um, ball of energy, and anyone who's around you just walks away feeling better. So
thank
it's
you.
no surprise that you are an empowerment life coach and that you have a gift to help others through a challenging moment or even a positive moment, right? And integrating that into their life. So thank you so much for coming to chat with me and sharing your wonderful tips with us today. And please, everyone, go connect with Kathy.
I look forward to meeting you all.
Yes. Thank
Thank you so much,
you.
Rachel.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.